Okay guys, I want you to go ahead and flip to S167. I want to work out two problems with you all, only because S167 is a little bit different from S166. On S166, you were strictly solving for the equation or the inequality, and once you isolated your variable, that was your answer. But let's go ahead and read S167. It states, which of the following numbers, if any, make the equation or the inequality true? And then it provides this set of numbers. Just keep in mind that these symbols right here represent set of numbers, okay? So when you're answering your problems, you will be using these symbols. So let's go ahead and do A. Start off A by solving for the equation or the inequality. So we're going to do minus 4, and once again we're doing minus 4 because we're trying to isolate this variable, meaning getting it alone on one side of the equal sign, so you have to do inverse operation of plus 4, which is minus 4. That cancels out. Do minus 4 on this side. You have m equals 8. Now, this is not your final answer. What you do now is you go to your set of numbers. You use your answer. So we have m equals 8. And since this is an equation, you're only going to have one answer, and your answer can only be 8. So you go ahead and check to see if 8 is in the set of numbers that is provided. And since it is, it's right here. You will write your solution includes 8, okay? Now let's look at F. We have 1/2 h is greater than or equal to 8. We're going to isolate the h by getting rid of this division. And to get rid of a division, you do inverse operation. And we're going to go ahead and multiply this by 2. Okay? 2 is going to cancel out with 2. Whatever you do to the left side, do it to the right side. So we now have h is greater than or equal to 16. Okay, so what you're going to do here is, remember, this is you solving for h, but you're now going to go back up to the set of numbers and see, is there any number in this set of numbers that satisfies h is greater than or equal to 16? Well, the largest number here is 10, so no, there's no number that is larger than 16. So your answer is going to be no solution. Okay? Let me just work out one more with you all, just to make sure you understand it. Let's go ahead and do D together. Alright, so D is F minus 4 is greater than 2. So we're going to isolate the F. We're going to do plus 4, plus 4. This cancels out, and we're going to end up with F is greater than 6. Okay? So we're going to go back up to our set of numbers, and we're going to see, are there any numbers that satisfy this inequality? F is greater than 6. And let's see if there's any numbers. So 8 is greater than 6, so you're going to put that into your answer. And then 10 is greater than 6. And this actually should be 14, sorry. And then we have 14 is greater than 6. And those three numbers satisfy this inequality. So make sure that your final answer is in a set of numbers, and you're checking to see if it's in the actual set of numbers that was provided for you, okay? So you should be circling your answers. I can't circle correctly, but you should be circling your answers. Just making sure you understand that this is not necessarily your answer. Yes, you have to solve for the equation or the inequality, but you also have to go back and check to see if it's in the set of numbers that was provided for you. Okay, if Mr. Chris can go ahead and pause the video now, because the next screen is going to be giving you guys the answer, so you guys can go ahead and self-check your own work. I want you to finish S167. You can finish it with your partner if you like, but when you move on to S168, I want you to try to do that independently, just to make sure that you actually understand it and you're not understanding it because somebody's giving you the answers, okay? So you can go ahead and pause it now, and on the next screen the answers will be there. Okay, so for B, you should have solved it and you would have gotten m is less than 8. And your answers could include 0, 3, and 5. Those are all answers that satisfy m is less than 8. All right, for C, you would have solved and you would have got f equals 6. Because it's f equals 6, it has to be 6 to satisfy this equation. So you would go up here and see if there's a 6. There is no 6 in this set of numbers, so you're going to go back down here and you would write no solution or no numbers or something along those lines, okay? We already did D. And for E, you should have gotten h equals 16, so you're going to go up here and check to see if there's a 16, because remember it's an equation, so it has to be 16 to satisfy this equation. There is not a 16, so you would write none of the numbers or no solution or anything along those lines. Okay, you should have completed S168, so let's go through this. On 1, you would have solved this and you would have gotten m equals 1, so you would go back to check to see if 1 is in the set of numbers provided to you. 1 is right there, so you would write the set of numbers symbol and you would write 1 inside of the set of numbers. For 2, you would solve m. You would get m is less than or greater than 6, and so you would have to include any numbers that is less than or less than or equal to, This is m is less than or equal to 6, so any number that is less than or equal to 6 will be included in your set of numbers. So you would look at your set of numbers, and the only numbers are 0, 1, and you actually should include 5. Okay, for number 3, you should have h is equal to 8. Go back and check to see if 8 is in your set of numbers. It is, so you can go ahead and include it. For 4, you should have h is greater than 8, and your set of numbers should include 11 and 17. For 5, you should have y equals 10, and you should have no solution in your set because we don't have 10 here. Okay, for 6, you would have y is less than or equal to 10, and your set of numbers would include 0, 1, 5, and 8. For 7, you would have k equals 23. There is no solution there because 23 is not in your set of numbers. And for 8, you would have k is greater than, just greater than 23, and there would be no solution because we don't have anything larger than 17 here. Okay, so just check your work, make sure you did it correctly. If you have any questions, make sure you ask Mr. Chris. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next lesson.